Hey guys, welcome to the Actary Magic channel. We just hit 100 subscribers. I'm finding a way that we can do a giveaway at the 200 subscriber mark, but thank you so much for coming out. But let's get right into it. We are going to be talking about a brand new commander that is really fun. A lot of casual players are picking this up. It is Galea. Kindler of Hope. Before we get into that, I want to thank Daniel over on our podcast, The Magic Table. Come check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. But let's talk about Galea. Okay, Galea, Kindler of Hope, is a 4-drop, 1 blue, green, and white, 1 generic, 4/4 vigilance elf knight. Says you may look at the top card of your library anytime. You may cast aura and equipment spells from the top of your library. When you cast an equipment spell this way, it gains when this equipment enters the battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. I personally think that most people, if they're going to be a little bit more aggressive, they should be playing equipment, because since an equipment has a casting cost and an equip cost, Galea gets around that equip cost. If you can cast spells that have really powerful equipment that have powerful effects, I think you're going to want to stick to equipment more so than auras, but there's amazing auras in here, and let's get into it. So let's talk about our honorable mentions, and there's a lot today, guys. Let's get into it. Number 1 on our honorable mentions is, let's look at, you can go to EDH Rec and find a Darksteel mutation, like a couple of the other ones that turn them into frogs and they lose abilities. But I wanted to mention the green ones. Galea says that we can go find an aura card and we can cast it. We don't have to be enchanting our own creatures, so that's really great. Kenra's transformation turns them into an elk that loses all abilities when they gain power and toughness, a 3/3, but it also draws us a card. Lignify gives them just a tree folk that's a 0/4 with it's it, and they lose all abilities. So Lignify and Kenra's transformation is super powerful against a commander that we don't want doing anything. Next up, kind of in that same theme of dealing with our opponent's stuff, we have got Corrupted Conscience. Corrupted Conscience is a 5-drop, 2 blue, 3 generic, enchanted creature. You control enchanted creature has infect. This is so good, because all we need now is 10 points of damage, and there are ways that we can cast this stuff at instant speed so we can surprise our opponents. We'll talk about that here in a minute. The other one I want to mention is Carry Away is double blue. When Carry Away comes into play, unattach enchanted equipment, you control enchanted equipment. So you're going to basically steal somebody else's equipment, and there are tons of lightning greaves, swords, Swiftfoot boots, and a lot of great equipment that we're already in the equipment theme. Let's go ahead and steal somebody else's equipment and take advantage. And not only are we removing their equipment from their side of the field, but we're also gaining that equipment. So I really like Carry Away. Next up, this is a whole theme of honorable mentions, but if you build your deck this way, I think it'd be really powerful. If we get into the straight up, I want to play just equipment, this is how I propose you do it. So I say, because we still have to cast the equipment, let's play cards that reduce artifact equipment costs or artifact costs. So if you lean heavy on the equipments, all of your equipments now are so much cheaper to cast. So Foundry Inspector, Ethereum Sculptor, and Joyous Familiar will all reduce casting costs of our equipment. Now, number 5 on my list, and I couldn't find this one on EDH, this one is called Gigantiform. Gigantiform is a 5-drop, 2 green, 3 generic. It says Enchant Creature. Enchanted Creature is 8/8 and has Trample. When a Gigantiform enters battlefield, if it was kicked, you may search your library for a card named Gigantiform, put it on the battlefield, and enter your library. We don't care about that part, because we can't have more than one. Okay, but Enchanted Creature has 8/8 and Trample. This is really good if we're playing creatures like Invisible Stalker. Now he's just a flat 8/8 that's going to smack our opponents. Next up on my list, again with that reducing mana cost theme, Semblance Anvil is the strict upgrade over the others, I believe, but it comes at the cost of imprinting a card from our hand. When Semblance Anvil enters the battlefield, you may exile a non-land card from it. Spells you cast that share a card type with the exiled card cost 2 less to cast. This is perfect for what we're doing. So it makes all of those artifacts or equipment coming off the top of our library 2 less to cast, meaning that we can run more powerful artifacts to smack our opponents. I personally like it. Now, but what happens if we go the enchantment route and we get some stuff stuck in our hand? Never fear, my friend. I got you covered. This is a very unique aura. If you're not familiar with Arcanum Wings, it's 1 blue and 1 generic enchant creature. Enchanted creature has flying. But that's not what we're running for. It's for the aura swap, which is 3. 1 blue and 2 generic. Exchange this aura with an aura card in your hand. So if we happen to be swinging with our big, our small little creature, but we want to make it a big dumb creature, we can enchant it with Gigantiform or Eldrazi Conscription. So now suddenly we've got an 11/11 Annihilator 2 trample creature flying at their face because we just aura swapped this 8-drop into play. So good. It's pretty jank. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little janky, but it's so fun. If you get like big enchantments stuck in your hand, aura swap is super powerful. So now you can just put stuff into play with Arcanum Wings. So if you go the aura route, play Arcanum Wings. It's going to be good for you. Next up, the very last one, talking about cards getting stuck in your hand, Scroll Rack. Since we're playing from the top of our deck and we're encouraged to keep playing from the top of our deck, if we get some equipment or enchantments that we'd rather have on top, Scroll Rack is the thing that we're going to want to do. It is a 2-drop artifact, 1 generic tap. Exile any number of cards from your hand face down. Put that many cards from the top of your library into your hand. Then look at the exiled cards and put them on top of your library in any order. All the cards that we don't want in our hand, put them on top of our library. We draw that many cards. Or we draw that many cards and then we put the cards from our hand on top. Super great. So if we get those like Eldrazi Conscriptions stuck in our hand, or if we get those equipment stuck in our hand, now Scroll Rack can put them to the top. We can play them for cheaper, and that's fantastic. Now I want to talk to you about a combo, and it's not really a combo, but it is. There's not really combos for this style of play that I could find, not traditional combos. But I wanted to bring you guys something anyway. So this is Enlightened Tutor. Enlightened Tutor just works really great. This is an expensive card. I think the cheapest one I could find was $40. But look at what it does for us. So we can go at instant speed at the end of somebody's turn, tutor up whatever we want. I recommend tutoring up Corrupted Conscience or Grafted Exoskeleton, because we can play Grafted Exoskeleton from the top of our library and equip it immediately with Galea. We can now give our stuff infect. These big creatures that we're already swinging with, probably unblockable, probably flying, really huge, probably got a sword in there somewhere. Now we're going to give them infect, and our opponent's just going to, infinite life don't matter, none of that stuff matters. So if we smack them with infect, they could just be dead. Now let's upgrade this a step further by playing things like Leyline of Anticipation or Alchemist's Refuge. Now, on top of being able to put these cards on top of our library with Enlightened Tutor, now we can cast them at instant speed with Leyline of Anticipation or Alchemist's Refuge. So we're going to our attack step. Now we can just, whenever they don't block, we can just cast one of these. We can go ahead and control our own creature with Corrupted Conscience. We can go ahead and cast Grafted Exoskeleton at instant speed. And that opponent didn't block, thinking, oh, I'm at 40 life, I'm healthy, I can take 8. No, suddenly I have 10 points of infect and I'm dead. So these cards that allow us to cast at instant speed are super powerful. I also wanted to include Shimmermere if you're going to go hard into the equipment and artifact abilities, because people are just going to end up dead. Dead. Anyway, I love me some 80s movies. Don't judge me. I like them. Anyway, guys, I hope you like that. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm so excited. We're going to try and do a giveaway. At 200 subscribers, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. And I love you guys. I hope I'll see you next time. Bye.